So what we have here next to speak about is the executive dashboard. Starting about late 2011, we started working on a little bit better reporting system for our DMO senior management. What we've been able to do is give to our individual clients logins whereby they can turn around and hand off to senior management reporting tools which enable them to run very, very large courses of data. And the reports are really yearly comparison reports. There can be very detailed reporting in this. It gives the DMO senior management an executive level summary snapshot. In the core booking engine, if you're monitoring the reports there, you can do the same type of reporting, but when you turn around and run large reports over large months at a time, the server might be very, very slow. So we preferred not to do that. So we took the core data out of the system, we optimized, and we created this reporting mechanism. So once you log into the executive dashboard, the first thing you'll see for your respective DMO is this snapshot. So your senior managers can quickly grab that information. It's going to give like total bookings, package bookings, property level bookings, room amounts, total attraction amounts, and all the key metrics that take place over the course of the reservation system. You have the ability to turn around and do date rate searches. You can go for a specific date, you can go for a specific month. You can search the entire spectrum for a whole year, or you can create your own custom date range searches. So if you want to search for a specific festival during the Calgary Stampede, or the auto show in Vancouver, you can turn around and see what's happened on the booking engine for that specific date. The data is displayed both in pie charts and other types of graphs. And the idea being there is that you can quickly take a snapshot of this screen and pop it into a marketing newsletter and send it off to your members. You can choose to give whatever data you'd like to your members. But we want to be able to give you that opportunity to access this data in a very quick format. There's 12 different reports that show comparative data over a 3-year period, so you can see changes in the booking patterns. An attraction summary, a booking by country, by state, by city, by the types of bookings, a hotel summary. I'm going to go through these reports very, very quickly. And once you access the data, if you can see that one screen there, I put up a sample report for all our DMO partners, and you can see it's 2012, 2011, 2010. You can actually toggle backwards to 2009, depending upon when you started with Meridian, and see the data over a large course of time. Right there, it gives you the ability to see the changes from where the countries they're coming from, how successful some of your marketing campaigns, if you've targeted a specific city or not. These are some of the sample reports, by the state and the province. By the city. The type of booking, whether they're regular room only bookings or whether it's done via experiential packages. And again, the idea was that the senior management can log in very quickly and get the data that they were looking for. They don't have to rely on their staff to produce these reports for them. Hotel classification, what's the most popular type of properties being booked at the respective properties? In diamonds, it's usually rated based upon the CAA ratings. For your specific DMO, a hotel summary. So, for example, if Joel's in his meeting or Candace is in her meeting with all her hoteliers, she can do a snapshot of this. And if she sees over the course of 3 years, one hotel has risen from not being in the top 10 to being in the top 5, you can walk back and thank the GM for working with the DMO a little bit more closely. Or if it goes the other way, you can start to ask questions, well, what happened? Why were you in 2009 our top 5 booking partner? All of a sudden you're down below 20. What changed? Was it a change in the revenue manager? Was it a change in the philosophy of the property? We do see that from time to time. Lead time for arrival, we see this as a useful tool. Increasingly at the last minute, more and more bookings are done, especially for the urban jurisdictions, the Torontos, the Vancouvers, the Calgarys. People are waiting. There's an abundance of inventory. They can see at the last minute what's going on. I think for the most part, within a week, almost 50% of all the reservations are taking place to the date of arrival. But that'll vary according to the jurisdiction. I know in case of Vancouver, it's plotted way further. I was surprised how much more further out their bookings are as opposed to Central Ontario or in Alberta. If you're into the experiential packaging engine, you can quickly take a snapshot and see which packages sell well. Changes over yearly periods. Overall sales on a year-by-year basis. We created a report within there, the booking by amount. It breaks all the reservations into increments of $100. You can see what your most popular price points are and how that's changing on a year-over-year basis. The number of persons in the reservations. Again, what's been most successful with couples? Is it families? By time slots. One of the reservations actually coming in. If you are running a call center, it's a little bit useful for staffing purposes. That's a simple one, credit card summary, to see what consumers are using. Not unless you're going back. It seems every DMO we're working with lately has a preferred partner. I know in the case of Vancouver, it's American Express. I know in Toronto's case, it's MasterCard. Those numbers might be skewed depending upon, what you're promoting. Yep.
Is this something that the DMO will be able to run, or is this something an operator also?
No, DMO only.
Okay.
This is all sensitive data. Now, you would never give this, we would never give this to a hotel or an operator.
Can the children?
Yes. Yeah, you can set up the individual child level DMOs on the system. Below that, you would never give this access to these data.
That's a hotel. I see it from my own hotel.
No. What you see at the hotel is in the back end of the extranet. You see all your sales figures within that context, and that's all you need to see. But you won't have an individual hotel looking at these types of reports. Now, that's too cumbersome, and I don't think they would use it anyways. Yeah. Daily title summary. You can see year over year what's happening on certain days to see, variations in booking patterns.
Is that the day that it's booked, or the day?
That's the day it's booked. And that'll vary on a yearly basis. Typically Sunday through Thursday are stronger. So say, for example, May 5th might fall on a Thursday one year. It falls on a Friday the next year. So that's a natural change right there. You have to take into account for that. Do you want to say something, Mary?
Yeah, you said bookings by city. Can it be drilled down to postal code?
If we're capturing that, yes, that's the type of data that can be extrapolated yet further. But what's your intention? What are you looking for in that respect?
Well, I mean, you might use it for zones, drop zones, or
Oh, I see. Oh, so you would quickly want to be able to get at what the most popular is.
especially if you're drawing consumers from rural areas. The city may be all over the place, but some of them may share some common first three digits, and especially if you are in a large urban area with an audience, the last three digits will give you neighborhoods.
Okay. Well, you can produce reports based upon that. The length of stay. In the case of like an Ottawa Tourism, for example, they're very successful in their third night discounts, so their data is going to be skewed very well in this respect. It gives you an idea how long people are staying in your jurisdiction. A monthly sales summary, month over month, year over year. It's almost a progress report to see how you're doing. We're all hoping the numbers are increasing year over year. Day of the week. And then finally, the referring URL will capture all the booking URLs. So if you've actually got a links in coming from any event websites, or your attraction partners are linking into the booking engine, or from a local travel office, or other websites, we'll capture all that and produce a report for you. So that's all I really wanted to touch. We're running out of time. I want to keep on the schedule for the more important things, the more meatier stuff. Is there any questions very quickly about the dashboard? Again, we will mail out to everybody. We'll have you all set up on that very coarsely so you can turn around and log into that dashboard. The key thing is, there's no point giving you a login when you're like 1 month into the system. You're not going to find enough cumulative data there. It's usually after 6 or 7 months you've got enough data to make it worthwhile. Our team will start to reach out to you, and who's ever not set up on that, we'll make sure you get set up right away. Now, the one thing I wanted to reiterate, again, I find this to be a lot more useful, and again, it's the value-added mechanisms. With virtually all our presentations that we've done before your staffs over the course of the years, we've touched upon these. And we've implemented these at a number of DMOs. The first one that I want to speak to is the bonus booking offers at the hotel level. Now, this went in first to Ottawa Tourism in the beginning of January 2012 and late December 2011. Tourism Vancouver uses this. I think a few other DMOs use it. And what it really does, what it was really conceived to be, was a property-based value-added mechanism. This bonus booking offers can be delivered at the property, at the hotels, in terms of free parking vouchers, food and beverage credits, free internet access, free movies. And the hoteliers have the capability to turn around and create these bonus booking offers at various price plateaus. They would typically do that in increments of $100. The theory is quite simple. The longer that the consumer would want to stay at a specific hotel, the more value the hotel should be throwing at the consumer. So if the booking is only going to be worth $300 for the property, they might turn around and just offer free parking. But if the consumer is willing to spend $600 or $700 at a property, then the value-added offer, which gets injected into the reservation system, should be that much more scaled upwards in terms of maybe free parking, free internet, and maybe a $25 food and beverage credit. The origin for this value-added concept was really to give the hoteliers an ability to sort of bypass all the rate parity clauses that they are subject to in their master franchise agreements. A lot of the hoteliers are deathly afraid, probably outside of this city of Niagara Falls, they abide by what's in that franchise agreement. A lot of properties are now starting to use this in more effective fashion. What we have noticed on a year-over-year data is the properties that get into the bonus bookings and use it effectively have more than doubled the amount of reservations. They are taking it away from other properties within the DMO site. It's not unlike when you go to Expedia and you see that someone's including free breakfast or another free value-added offer. It's the exact same concept. So we placed this into the booking engine. I'm quickly going to show you the back end of a configuration screen whereby someone's actually turned around and created a plateau of $750. And again, they put in free tickets up to 4 people to the Niagara Bird Kingdom and a souvenir city. And they have the ability to turn around and apply these bonus booking offers on both the rooms-only gateway and or the packaging gateway. They would check off both of these boxes right here. And then for each value-added offer that they're going to create in the system, they're going to type in a full text description defining what that offer is going to be. Here is a snapshot of the back-end administrative tool for that bonus booking system. So where you can see there's a whole series of value-added offers, 100, 200, 300, 750, 1,000. Again, it should be scaled up accordingly, according to the size. When someone breaks $1,000 and willing to spend on a property, you should be throwing everything at them. Yes?
I think I might have asked you this before. I can't remember the answer, but when you guys have been developing this, have you put any thought to also option to turn it on for nights, number of nights versus just the amount to spend. So for example, someone, they book 3 nights, they get free parking, or does it always have to be
You would have to,
spend model?
as a unilateral decision, you'd have to turn around by a DMO and implement it one way or the other. You couldn't really, I don't think we could really cross that logic. Either you're going to inject that offer into the system by breaking a price plateau or by the number of nights. It can be done both ways. Mixing and matching that logic into one bonus booking system might be a little bit tough at the hotel level. Now, further back in the corner there, Michael Carmichael did from Quebec City, he did exactly that. They used the concept of DMO-based bonus booking, not hotel level, and they did tie it in a number of cases to the number of nights, so it is 100% feasible. So if someone stays 2 nights, for example, irregardless of how much the hotel stays at, if they stay at that Days Inn in Vancouver where they're charging $70, $80, there's quite a bit difference from the Fairmont, the Pacific Rim, where it's at $300 per night. But they're still subject to that same bonus offer. That is feasible.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the bonus itself has to be any kind of a cost break or anything. It could be an add-on.
It could be an add-on, based upon the number of nights, yes.
Yeah, so it's good for thought.
You might speak to this, but from the consumer side, when do they see this? Are they able to peruse through bonus offers?
Yes, they are, and that's where my next slide was. So what invariably in all the booking widgets and everywhere on the DMO site, that bonus system should be highly promoted. It's got to be on the front door of the DMO site. Ottawa Tourism does that. If you go to the front page of ottawatourism.ca, in addition to their 3rd night, they've got that bonus booking icon there listed. After they've driven into the system, they're going to see that icon being displayed adjacent to the specific room type, which has broken that price plateau. So if they've got 5 or 6 different room types going, they may have like a whole series of standard rooms, which say, for example, are $100 per night, but now all of a sudden a suite, which is at $250 per night, has easily broken that plateau. So that icon is there. If I place my mouse over that icon, there is the text for that bonus booking offer. And that's conveyed to the consumer what that is. What are they going to get for booking that specific room at that specific property? If they were to click on this icon right there, view hotel bonus offers, then to the consumer we give them a chart on a 7-day dynamically changing basis based upon whatever dates they selected. What are the offers down the left-hand side? The price plateau and the availability of that offer on the dates of stay. So we wanted to create these educational tools for the consumer. What's available? At the very top of the search results, we have a global tool to show, again, the plateau amounts going across the top of the screen, and the hotels down the left-hand side, and the corresponding offers, which are available at their respective property for the dates of this the consumer has picked. We can take that screen that you see right there via an XML feed and pop that right to the front door of the DMO site with an icon. They can click on a link and open that up in a light box, and they can see those bonus offers available to consumers. Because we're always challenged, the derivation, the origination of all these value-added mechanisms are, again, to give to our clients as many tools as possible to compete with the OTAs. ExpediaHotels.com use this concept as well. So you're almost forced into this. When a reservation is created, the consumer has the ability to print off that voucher, that bonus booking voucher. We make it very, very similar to the attraction vouchers. Again, they're all branded according to the DMOs. It'll specifically say hotel bonus offer. And the actual text of the offers here. All the booking details are there. So the consumer would typically surrender that at the front desk. But that's recorded in the back end of the extranet. The hotel should be aware of what their responsibility is. In the vast majority of cases, this is a contract directly between the hotel and the consumer. There is no charge in this specific case to the consumer for buying the hotel for this specific bonus offer. It's usually free of charge. It's not part of the normal accounting cycle. Hi, Laura?
John, can you send us a copy of this PowerPoint?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, PDF for everybody. So we started off with the hotel level bonus booking offer, and then Mike came to us from Quebec City wanting to use the same concept, but he wanted to have it DMO control, not hotel control. Because when you actually have to go back to your hotel partners to get them to do something, as we know in this room, that's not an easy thing to do. So if you take that legwork out of their hands, in some cases from the DMO's perspective, it's much easier for them to go back to the attraction service partners to go back and get value. And we've done a number of these DMO-based bonus booking offers in Quebec City, and some, again, were tied to the number of nights. The most recent ones are basically for any booking. But based upon the need and based upon the partners that you find, we can configure that bonus any which way that you like us to do so. Again, they could be date sensitive, much like the hotel side. You say, I only want to promote it for this 2-week date span, we can make that work accordingly. This screen cap is from Quebec City. On the right-hand side, what you're seeing there, I'll just read it in case you can't see from the back of the room there. For all bookings made on Quebec Region websites for stays between January 8th and March 18th, you will receive 2-for-1 voucher at the IMAX, 2-for-1 voucher at the Observation, double your points at the Mega Park Galleria. That's an indoor amusement park. They've got discounted tickets to Montmorency Falls and the cable car ride up there. They've got a variety of different attractions that they were able to do. Again, it's pretty straightforward. You know, they're trying to convince the consumer to book over their own gateway. If the consumer is evaluating a price point and he sees the property that he wants to see, he might see the same rate period at Expedia or their brand's own personal website or hotels.com. If they see the rate here on the DMO site, in addition to making that reservation, they get this whole series of value-added offers. We would hope that we've encouraged a number of people to book it down the DMO gateway. Any questions? Again, the DMO voucher is almost identical to the hotel. It's branded according to the DMO. You've got barcoding, you've got the attraction listed, the terms of the offer. So it's like an online coupon for redemption. It gives you the opportunity for the DMOs to go back and necessarily engage a lot of these attractions or restaurants which may or may not be able to participate in the booking engine, but by getting that value add, they're including them. The third value-added mechanism, and again, we've been down this road many times, but are the extended stay discounts. They're used with varying success according to the city. No one DMO has had been more benefit from this than Ottawa Tourism. And the reason I put it back into the presentation was Ottawa, I think it's public knowledge because we used these figures last year at DMAI, so I don't want to embarrass Megan saying, oh, I don't know who she is here, has actually numbers which outstrip any one of our other clients. And I'm not quite sure why they've been successful. I have my own theories. First of all, the one number which is fabulous is that almost 20% of the website visitors to Ottawa Tourism actually venture from the DMO site into the booking engine. That's usually double what any other client has. That's a fabulous number. The next number is the actual conversion ratio. For every 100 visitors into the reservation system, they're converting almost 5%. So every 120 are making a booking. The average conversion ratio for DMO is anywhere between 1% and 2%. Now we have Ottawa, which is cruising along 4 or 5 points, depending on the time of year, depending on what marketing campaign is running. Well, the question is, like, I always ask, well, why is this DMO, which was with Toronto, our first clients almost 5 years ago, why are they successful when they have not really utilized too many of the upgrades in the last 2 or 3 years? They've kept to a relatively simple plan. And the one thing I think they do very, very well is that in all their marketing, all their newspaper inserts, all their digital ads, it's always the same message. They've always turned around and spoken to all their experiential packages. They put specific price points in. They put specific price points for those packages, and then they always speak to that third night discount. Right there. It's consistency. That hasn't changed once in 4 or 5 years. Ever since we've been working with them, that same message has always been there. So, let's do one second. Therefore, that's what I always look to is, again, they're capturing the consumer via their marketing pieces. They're getting them into their site. That consumer is responding to this via the simple message, and they're driving into the res system. Yes?
If they're publishing a rate up there, I can't see very well from here. Is it rates from? I mean,
Yes, it is. Yeah, they'll put a rates from. They'll cover themselves that way. There's another hand up?
Yeah, the first number that you said about the number of people that go into the book site, what was that?
It's approximately 20%. The average for everyone else is under 10.
So, sorry, 20%.
20% of the website visitors that get into ottawatourism.ca actually jump into the reservation system. The average DMO is about 10. Rob?
Which business model are
They own the transaction. They're the same business model you were.
they? Now, John, you said the conversion rate, once they get into the booking page, is 1 to 2% on average?
No, what their conversion rate is about 4 or 5%. It's almost double everyone else.
Right, so everyone else is 1 to 2.
Yeah, now, one of the reasons, again, for that, I think Ottawa is ideally suited for this 3-day stay. You know, when you get up to Ottawa, it's a little bit remote, so you're going to stay there for 2 or 3 days. So now you've got a very good hotel group backing up the DMO. They do benefit from that. There's a lot of participation, and a lot of the hoteliers do jump into that third night discount formula. In addition to that, those hoteliers are also giving to the DMO in the opaque packaging engines rates which are on par with Priceline and Hotwire. So the value is demonstrated to the consumer. Those are the key things. But the fact that they've got almost a 20% jump into the reservation system, and again, why? Why does this one organization have these really stellar numbers? And again, I think the consistency of the messaging is there. Year over year, again, it doesn't change. There it is on the home page of their site, preferential real estate. The bonus booking offers are alluded to as I spoke earlier. In the case of Ottawa, it's extremely difficult for the consumer to drill down to an individual hotel listing. They've almost made that impossible to do. They've 100% commitment behind the reservation engine. So they're sending very, very little traffic off to a hotel website. You've really got to work to find that hotel listing and click off to see, the LordElgin.com. It's not easy to do. And that's part of their strategy. I think that also helps drive that traffic into the res system because you've really got nowhere to go. If you force the consumer down one channel, obviously those numbers are going to grow. But that's a strategic decision. If you're going to make a commitment to the res system, then you almost have to make a commitment all the way. And I know it's difficult to do because you're taking the pressures back to your members. They want direct links. They have a different agenda. And again, if you can't see on that screen, the third night discounts are always displayed. And again, we have the capability to adjust those discounts based upon the jurisdiction, whether it's the 2 nights more prevalent in your area, or 4 nights more prevalent, or 3 nights. We can work with you in that respect. Now, the last value-added mechanism is what we've put in more recently is we're starting to get more aggressive in actually adding additional rate plans into the system. These are the rate plans you would typically find on other res systems, usually the hotel corporate booking engines like Marriott.com or BestWestern.com, where you can always find a seniors rate, an internet special, or a CA rate. So we did that first with Quebec City, and we went through and we actually allowed the hoteliers, we upgraded the system whereby the hoteliers can assign these specific discounts to specific room types. So they have the ability to mark down their weakest selling rooms, which would be in most cases the standard two double beds. They're not going to move as quickly. They don't have to apply these discounts against their jacuzzi suites or their handicap rooms or their specialty suites. So when they configure this on the back end of Meridian, they'll configure a discount, apply it against specific rooms, and then they can do that discount. It's fully date sensitive. They can adjust it accordingly, whether it's 10% one day, 15% the next day, 20% the third day. It has had, I think, a positive impact on the conversion ratios. We are selling more rooms. The first year when we started this, so Quebec was a new client, and with most new clients, we did a lot of customized work. Again, in their particular case, there was a lot of language issues. They were very, very sensitive to that. So there was a tremendous amount of upfront investment on our part. Once we got through the second year, we put these rate plans into place. In addition to the third night discount, we could see an immediate increase in the amount of reservations because their channel is just now that much more competitive vis-a-vis other channels. And this is what I alluded to, Lauren, in the past, was right here. This is where they're turning around, they're creating the discounts, and they're assigning it to specific room codes. Again, full date sensitivity on the discounts. You don't have to give it on your peak periods. You can give it on the weakest days of the week. And then this is how it looks on the DMO site from a global search perspective. You know, they've got their buttons quite prevalent right there. The third night 50%, the CAA, the 60+ offers, and the special internet offers. If I was to turn around and pick one of those rate plans and do a global search, we've adjusted that search whereby we're going to now search based upon that rate plan. So any hotels which have participated by giving a seniors rate or an internet special rate are going to be shown first in that result set. And what also has been adjusted accordingly is the larger the discount that the hotel gives to the DMO, the higher their ranking. It doesn't have to be that way, but we found that to be a very good strategy because hoteliers are always looking to get that preferential placement. They want to be on that first page of results. So using that ranking formula, the biggest discount gets to the top of the list, is encouraging hotels for that internal competition. And basically, I don't think there's been that much in terms of backlash. We used it in Quebec, we use that in Vancouver now as well too. It seems to be quite commonplace. Yes?
I probably shouldn't say this, but I think the fact that there's no backlash in Vancouver is because hotels don't really know that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
When they sign up, I haven't been too forthcoming about that, and we just sort of tested it on one program, if you recall. But I do anticipate that we will have some challenges just because we have to be equitable with all our properties. And some hotels are absolutely averse to any kind of special offer or discount that's going to even in any way look to their head office like they're contributing some kind of rate parity concern.
But these discounts will be all usually available through the brand.com. If you go to any Marriott or Best Western, you're going to find the exact same numbers. What we've really done is match those rate plans with those other OTA channels. And usually you're not going to turn around and violate rate parity. Some hotels will do so, some will not. But for the most part, you know, it's been there for over a year in Quebec City, and they've not asked us to change it. So the backlash really hasn't been there. We find ourselves gravitating in this area where we're starting to create these internal competitive pressures from the hotel groups. Let them kind of fight it out for preferential pricing. But the net result is that we're getting a better rate to the DMO. And a lot of hoteliers welcome this. They're looking for that advantage to get back on that first page. Amongst 80 or 70 different hotels, they want to be on that first page.
Absolutely, and I mean, from a DML perspective, you know, the argument could be made that this is customer-centric.
Absolutely.
And that has to come first, so, you know, it's just a balancing act.
For what it's worth, I don't know the timeline, but I just read it last week. The rate parity thing is being challenged in the United States as antitrust laws. I don't know where that's going to go, but someone has now forced that issue, saying that is essentially price fixing by mandating the hotels to turn around and be subject to brand.com's mandate. You have to keep your rates in parity. That is actually violating antitrust legislation. So I don't know the timelines for that, when that argument will be actually held, validated, but I thought that was quite neat to read. It's being challenged. Crystal?
Would this apply to those properties who are linking into the reservation system through Pegasus?
No. Not in this. What she asked is, if the property is if we're using the Pegasus switch as our primary inventory management tool, can we turn around and discount their rates accordingly? Yes and no. In the back end, the screen snapshots, which I showed you, the management tool, they would not necessarily use that to derive the discount. However, we can turn around and pull off the CA discount off the back end of those Pegasus-driven hotels and include them in the search results with the other properties. It's keyword filtering. We do it all the time. So every hotel has a rate plan, and if you go to other OTA channels, you'll see it's a CA rate, it's a seniors rate, an internet special rate. We can take that and include that with the other properties which are having their rates and inventory managed by Meridian, either through Easy Yield or direct management of the internet itself. So they're not excluded from the result set. Yes?
Can you use that with those who are suffering packages? I know you use a senior package.
A hotel level package?
No, like something.
An experiential package? We can apply it. I don't think that has a lot of value, because typically in the opaque channel, that's where you're soliciting the hotels to give you the best rate. That rate is hidden from the consumer. So the question really was, can we actually apply a seniors discount or a CA discount in the packaging system? Yes, we can. Are the hoteliers going to turn around and use it? I don't know about that. But from a technical perspective, there's no problem whatsoever. You can apply those discounts against any of the gateways. And one of the upgrades that came with Quebec City is that when the consumer actually drills down into the rooms level of that hotel microsite, where they actually see all the various room rates, the availability, we can dynamically show what rate plans are available at the property. Now in this case, the screen cap, we're assuming that all 4 of those discount plans, the third night is available, CAA, the 60 plus, and the internet special. If that specific property was not offering a third night 50% discount for the dates that I had picked, that button wouldn't be there. So those buttons are going in and out based upon the dates that I selected. The other upgrade that came to the system, if I was to turn around and just check that CAA button, the rates are automatically recalculated immediately. We're not forcing the consumer to go back to the front door, re-enter rates, the dates of stay, to go through that path again. So they can just check, click off rate plan, click off rate plan, click off rate plan, and see how those rates are changing. So depending upon who they are, they could be someone who's 65 years of age, they qualify for a net special, they're also a CAA member. They'll just turn on click, 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 and see what deal is the best for them. So once again, that's a very brief overview of the value-added mechanisms. We've got 4 in place: the hotel level bonus booking offers, we've got a DMO bonus booking offers, we've got that extended stay discounting. Again, that can be custom tailored according to your jurisdiction, whether you're pushing a second night, a third night, or a fourth night. The advanced discounting plans. with the global search. Again, they've been custom tailored down to the specific room code, so the hotels can just try to move their weakest rooms if they want through the system. And we're hoping to be that much more competitive. Depending upon the client, some of this has gone into Ottawa, Quebec, Vancouver, and different jurisdictions.